Hello, in this video I'll show you how you can use the LUA scripting engine in ShowCockpit to update a series of presets. And this will be an example of usage of LUA scripts in ShowCockpit. And for the purpose of the tutorial or exercise, I have this problem to present you. So imagine you have one kind of wash fixture that only has R, G, and B attributes, and then you clone and change the fixture to one type that also has the white attribute. When that happens, uh, and you recall your previous presets, you will see that, for example, the white will be the R, G, and B, and nothing on white, on the white parameter. Okay, so you have the new parameter that you didn't have before with no values. And ultimately, what you needed to do if you wanted to use the attribute is to go through all your presets, uh, give some number to the white attribute, and record to the preset. And in this video, I'll show you how you can do this using Lua scripting, and using a script as the advantage of having the PC doing this for you or having the script doing this for you, because this is a tedious task. If you just have 2 or 3 presets, maybe that's okay. You can do it manually. But if you have 100 presets to update, maybe a script will save you a lot of time. So this is the problem that we are going to tackle with Lua scripting. Okay, we will go updating all these presets with the 0 value on white, that that the value is not on the preset now. Okay, so let's go to ShowCockpit and we'll start by creating a new project, Lua example. And for elements, we will need an element to connect to MPC first of all, and we connect, and then we will need a Lua script. So add utilities, ShowCockpit, Lua script. And if you double click the element or just click this button over here, you'll see actually it's a text editor with the contents of your Lua script here on the left. On the right, you will see some reference, some help, some hints on things that you can do with Lua. And on the top, you have a button to save. You have a button to import from a file, to export the script to a file, to run the script or to stop the script. So as soon as you open your Lua script element, it will have already some comments here in the beginning. These are comments. This is not actually code. This is not executed. It's just text. It's used by programmers just to remember things. It's basically a comment that does not get executed by the scripting engine. And then you have 3 lines here. You have a print, and this function is used to print a message to the console down here. Then we have a sleep of 1 second, and then we print another message saying goodbye, and that's the end of the script. So if we run this script using the run button over here, we'll see hello, followed by a sleep of 1 second, and then a bye-bye, and then the script ends. So let's run it. We see the hello, 1 second later we see the bye-bye, and then script execution finished, which means the script has finished all the tasks that we needed it to do. So this is very interesting, but it's not very important. So this is just an example. So we will delete the default script, and we come here to the right and select our MPC element. And then on the second drop down, we have a list of all the functions that we can execute for this element. Okay, so first of all, we will start really simple. We'll start by just clearing the programmer. So if we want to clear the programmer, we have a function for that called clear programmer that runs inside a variable that we can have. So we can just, this is an example code. It changes if you change the function that we want to execute. And we will start by selecting the clear programmer. We can copy this to the left, and we have two lines here. We have again a comment here and the comment here. This is not executed. It's just for us to, well, to document what we are doing. And the first line here in line number 7, we are basically getting an element called MPC, m-pc, which is the name that we gave to our element over here. Okay? So we get this element and we put it in a variable called MPC. And then using this variable, we have a bunch of methods or functions that we can call inside the variable, one of which is the clear programmer. The complete list of methods that we can call for an MPC element is right here. These are all the functions that you can call for an MPC element. If you have other elements, then you can select your element over here, and the second drop down will change for the functions available for that new element. So in our case, we are getting the element MPC, and then we are calling the clear programmer function for that object. And if we run this script, well, actually before running, I'm just putting something on the programmer, some random stuff. So if we see the programmer right now, the robins have some pan and tilt, the wallies have, well, some colors. And if we come back to ShowCockpit and run this script, we will see that the programmer is now empty. Okay, so our script is working. We are connected to MPC and we can execute functions on it. Let's do something interesting now, which is mimicking the things that we need to do. So the things that we need to do to update all these colors in the washes is select the group first, then we select the preset, then we set the value of the white attribute, for example 0. Now it's red, it's loaded into the programmer, and then we want to record and merge to the preset again. So if we clear the programmer now and we select the group and the preset, now we have also the parameter for the white being called from the preset. But now we want to do this for every preset. Let's learn first how to mimic this for the first preset, or just to do the same that we just did. So select the group, select the preset, set white to 0, and then record back to the preset. Let's do this on LUA. So let's start by clearing the programmer. And first step is select group. I usually activate the tiny code mode because it has less variables involved. In the example that is given without the tiny code mode, we set the group number to a variable and then we use the variable when we call the method. I just prefer it this way because it's cleaner in code. So we select group 1, clear the programmer, then we select group 1, and then we are going to select color preset number 1 as well. Well, it's not group 1, it's group 2 actually. We select color preset 1. Then we are going to set an attribute value. So we'll copy the function. We have here all the documentation. So for the first parameter, the parameter is called p attribute name. and the documentation says it's the name of the attribute. The second one is the desired value for the attribute, and the last one is to treat as absolute or relative to the value that is already there. So if we use true, this value will be an absolute value. If we use false here, this value will be treated as a relative value. So add, for example, 1 or decrement 1 from the value that is there when the line is executed. So we'll copy this, and we want to set the attribute white to 0, for example, and true because we want 0 absolute. And we can test this right now. So we can clear the programmer here on MPC, and we come back to Lua and run the script. So if we come back to MPC, we see that our group was selected, our open preset was recalled, and also the attribute is 0, but actually it was already 0 because it was recorded previously. We can try this for the red, for example. So if we select group 2, select red, we will see that red is recalled for the red, green, and blue attributes, but not for the white. So if we want to select preset 2 instead of 1, we come here and we select group 2 and then select color preset 2. And if we run this, we'll see that we selected group 2. Red was recalled. Okay, so we see here that the red preset was called for red, green, and blue, and our white parameter was set to 0 as we requested on our script. Nice. So the last step after setting white to 0 is to record again the preset. So let's record the color preset, and we'll record color preset number 2 in this case because we selected color preset 2. We set the white to 0, and then we record color preset 2. This is the number of the preset, as we see here on the documentation. The second parameter is the name that we want to give to the preset, and the last one is to use merge or to overwrite. We will use merge, so it was true. And for the name of the preset, we can, because we are doing just for one, we can write red here. But to make it even more generic, instead of writing the name that we want, otherwise we would have to write all of the names, we can get the current name of the preset. So if we use get color preset name instead of this value, we will get the name of the preset, of the color preset number 2, and we will use it as the second parameter for our record color preset function, which is the name that we want to give. So we will give the same name that the preset already has. And we can test this right away for the second preset for red. Let's clear the programmer first on MPC. Okay. And if we execute now our script, we can see that something was executed back in MPC. We can clear the programmer again, select our group and select the preset. Oh, now we see that the white already has a value stored in our red color preset. So how do we do this for more than one preset? We just learned how to update the white attribute for color preset 2 in this case. Now, what we want to do is a loop. We want to start on preset 1 and end on preset 10, for example, to update all our presets. So to do this, we need to use a for loop. You can have some help here on the second tab called LUA help. You have some examples of for loops, how to print a message, a while loop, if then else. some basic Lua scripts. The for loop is very interesting because uh, you basically use a variable. We will call the variable I. It's very common to use I as a variable name for loops. And this variable will have the value of 1 for the first iteration. So the first time that everything that's inside this for runs, I will have the value of 1. And it will increment each time it runs until we reach the value of 10. And this is just an example, so this code will execute just a print. It will print, the first time it will print 1, the second time it will print 2, the third time it will print 10, until we reach 10. And then it ends, actually, okay? It stops when it reaches 10. So what we will do is we will move all this inside the for loop, okay? And we will use, instead of setting the color preset number, in this case we were using color preset 2, we will use the variable. So instead of 2 we will put I, and here should also be I, and here also should be I. This means that the for will execute 10 times. So all this code will be executed 10 times. The first time, all i's will be equal to 1. So we'll be operating on color preset 1. The second time it runs, we'll have 2 here, here, and here, and so on and so forth until we reach color preset 10, and we will operate on color preset 10. So let's see what happens if we run this script. You can see that many things are happening on MPC. It's going really fast. Now if we clear the programmer and we will call the preset, we can see that open has something on white, red has something on white, orange has something on white, yellow has something on white, green. Oh, something happened in the blue, and purple and pink, CTO, CTB. Okay, something happened here. What happened is really simple. So the Lua script was executed too fast for MPC. So we need to give it some time. Actually, if we were doing this manually, we would not be able to do this so fast. So that's what the sleep function does. If we go back to our script, in between the operations, we can put a sleep operation. So we can select group number 2 and we will sleep for 0.1 seconds. We can select the color preset and we'll stop for 0.1 seconds. We set the attribute value, we'll sleep for 0.1 seconds, and then we record and we sleep for 0.5, for example. And hopefully, if we give some time to MPC, some more time to MPC, this will mimic more or less what a human would do. Let's run it now. You can see now on MPC it takes a little bit more time because of all those sleeps. But hopefully when it's recorded, all the values are already in the programmer. So let's check. Let's check open. Let's check open, red, orange, yellow, green. You see that all of them have white now. And the white is actually 0. So that's it. This is just an example of how to update all the presets using your Lua script. You can export it to a file to use it later, or you can expand this to do many things more. For example, you might want to update all your playback buttons with your new colors, because these cues that are stored in my cue lists only have the colors being recalled from the presets for the attributes red, green, and blue. So I need to update now all my cues to have the white as well. And I will leave that to you as an exercise. Just update all the cues using your new presets. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.